Okay, it's 7 o'clock, so why don't we resume our BOE meeting? Candy, we will want to make one adjustment to the agenda.
Okay.
We got Mr. Brady's contract to approve. Originally, it was on one of the previous versions, so let's.
I think it is on the electronic version, Pat. If you guys are using your Google Docs, it should be the last item before adjournment.
It's not there now. I didn't see it either.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's not there.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think it was there. I did see it, Candy. It was there for sure at one point.
Andy, it's on the one you sent me, if that helps.
Oh, thank you, Christy. Verification. There you go. Oh, Lord.
You're not crazy.
I knew there was a reason you're on the board, Christy. Thank you.
And now that Christy's step front and center, I think we have something to do with Christy,
Yes,
don't we, Candy?
do. Christy, normally you would stand and solemnly swear, but I'm going to let you sit there.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of office of trustee of the Board of Education
of office of trustee of the Board of Education
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Yay, you're now official. Everybody
Yay.
clap.
Well,
I hope it wasn't as painful as it looked, Christy.
Oh, it was
with that
horrible.
hand there.
Horrible.
Okay, it's official now, Christy. You're at the table.
All right.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Get this over. So we got a couple minutes to approve the minutes from our May 14th meeting, as well as the minutes from our election results on June 2nd. So if I could get a motion to approve those 2 minutes.
Point of clarification,
Sure.
the June 2nd was the opening of the bids, right?
Right.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay, the June 2nd meeting. Simply
sorry,
put it that way.
so moved.
Any more questions or clarifications for me? If not, I need a second, right? Do we get a second?
Yes, you need a second.
Okay. All those in favor then, right hand, please, or a hand. So
And,
Candy can see it.
okay,
Thank you.
okay.
I don't believe we have any correspondence from the board. So we'll move right on to reports from committees, facilities committee. Mr. Peretta, please.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the capital project to Pat, because he's gonna have to talk about it later anyway. The other item was a capital outlay project 2021. The plans were going to be ready for SED. Let me see, in Greg's review. They're gonna be submitted to SED now to try to be ready so we can get this going, so we can get it approved and have it done before the end of the year, now that, the budget's all passed. The only other item was the coronavirus pandemic planning. And really that was a wait and see for what the governor came up with for reopening scenarios. And, I'm aware of several committees throughout the state that are happening currently. I'm not sure which one. But the other item talked about was the new building condition survey forms are in from NICED, and the architect intends to have that done before kids come back while the buildings are empty and ready for a fall submission to SED. And that was it.
Kevin, was there significant changes to the form from previous years, or?
I haven't looked at it myself, Pat.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I'm trying to think of, I can't remember specifically what they've changed. I haven't personally done mine at work yet. So
Yeah. No problem. Just curious.
Pat Brady might know, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet either. There's the work, Ed just said there's the new workbooks, and they're online, and they're gonna be so I haven't seen that form either.
Okay.
Electronic.
Any more questions for Kevin or anything else? Okay, we'll go with policy committee for Mr. Haggett, please.
Okay, the policy committee met on May 21st. We continued our review of the 5000 series policies. Several of them required some, essentially minor changes in language. Those are presented on our agenda tonight for a first reading. There were several others that were not changed and are presented for review only tonight, approval tonight. The policy committee held 7 meetings this school year. We reviewed or approved changes to 75 policies and regulations, and we've completed year 5 of a 7-year policy review schedule. So the policy committee continues to click along. Under some new business, we did discuss a proposal from the High School Diversity Club. They are interested in modifying graduation dress to include a single color graduation gown that would be for all students except for the approved Native American dress students. That is an effort to make graduation more of a gender neutral event. And we expect to be looking at another change in the dress code policy as it relates to graduation, probably in the coming school year. And our next policy committee meeting will be sometime in the new academic year. And that's it from policy.
Any questions for Paul? If not, I think Yellow Anita was on the line earlier. Are you still with us?
Yep.
All right.
Hello.
Long time. I haven't seen you or heard
Yes,
from you in a
I
while.
am. I know it's been so hard. Everything's been so hectic with this pandemic, and it's just been so hard trying to adjust. But I mean, we're here now, and we're finally done school, so we made it.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You have a sort of a report to give us for how we survived through the COVID stuff?
Yes, I do actually. So a lot of the high school students were, I found a lot of the people that I talked to, they were struggling through the pandemic, especially trying to do schoolwork. It was really hard for people to focus with that. And then a lot more towards recently, like the recent months, it was like with all the deals with the protests and everything that deals with Black Lives Matter. I think it's just been so chaotic for teenagers. It's a hard time, and especially for seniors. Like me, I'm upset that my year didn't end how I wanted it to, but I know in the long run, it is what it is, and we're honestly doing the best we can. And I think that everyone's trying really hard, and if we do our best, we can hopefully make it through this pandemic. But yeah, I think a lot of students really just had a harsh time, but around now is when I notice a lot of people are kind of getting outside, especially with the nice weather and stuff. So the stress that was there within the past couple months is definitely kind of dying out now, but I think people are doing good. So
good. Well, I really feel for you and the rest of the seniors for their high school career to end like that. But 20 years from now, you have a great story. It's going to be a unique graduation that most other people haven't gone through. So.
Oh, for sure. And we didn't get to have the prom that we wanted to have, or we didn't get to have the exact graduation we want to have, but hey, we're living through a history textbook right now. So
there you go.
We really this is kind of big stuff. And, I like to look at the best things out of it rather than the negative. So yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you helping us out through the year, and we wish you the best for sure.
Oh, thank you so much. It was really great to be a part of this and gain this experience from sitting into this meeting. These meetings.
Yelena, while we have you on the line, just a couple of questions. How easy or difficult was it for you to engage in remote learning?
For me, it wasn't really too difficult because a majority of my classes already used Google Classroom. So it wasn't that hard, but I was also in a couple IB classes, and those were the classes that I kind of recognized that used Google Classroom more so than other classes. But I don't know. I think I handled it pretty well. It wasn't too bad, but like I said, my IB classes finished up in May, so it was kind of a breeze for the rest of the year, but yeah.
How would you characterize the workload you had? Like how many hours a day would you have to spend on schoolwork? We never could really gauge on how much was too much.
Yeah, I was honestly, the thing that I liked about remote learning was the fact that I could do my work throughout the day. So I kind of like dispersed it, and like I would do my work, and then when I would get overwhelmed or feel like I was going insane, I would take a break from it and go do like chores or the dishes or something like that, and then I'd go back to my homework. So I found it was easy to do that, but I'd say maybe, I don't know, maybe like 2 hours, not even, maybe a little bit, about 2 hours of homework per day, because I didn't have a huge workload, so it wasn't too hard for me. So.
And if we had to do this again, do you have any suggestions of how we could improve it?
I think that maybe being a bit more, like teachers were pretty lenient, my teachers was at least, but a lot of my friends have talked about how their teachers were still really strict, even though like we were going through remote learning and a bunch of chaotic events that were happening around us. And they just felt like they were kind of pressured a little bit. So I think maybe taking a bit of that pressure off of the students would maybe make it easier for them, like inside and outside.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else? All right. Thank you. And I have one item under me. It's a reorganizational meeting, which we'll have on July 9th. So I haven't really talked to anybody on the committees to talk about assignment. The only one Robert reached out about wanting to get involved in the financial side of things. So we might have him slip into that spot of, I think Mark Goodfellow is in right now. I haven't talked to Kevin or Lauren, but with things going on, with a capital project going on, I'd really like Kevin to stick around as the committee chair. And with the unknown with finances, I'd really like Lauren to stick around as committee chair. So like I said, you guys have definitely hit me up if you don't want that or you want to change, and I'll have it drawn up and ready for July 9th.
I'm fine with that. No problems.
Any questions or comments around that?
You might want to add a little bit to the facilities committee. It's getting a little light.
Yeah, you lost them all. All right.
And it's going to be a busy committee this year.
Yeah, so we might think about putting an extra board member on if people are willing to step up. So, good point. Okay, reports from administration, please.
Okay, I'll start with the school budget vote. As you know, the ballots were opened on Tuesday night. We had 2,771 ballots that were submitted. And it was a pretty long night for the 21 election inspectors. As you know, normally we have about 150 absentee ballots to count because it's an in-person election. And just like everything else during this crisis, this was a very unique situation for everybody. So they started at 5 o'clock, and it was after 11 before everybody was able to get out of there. And actually, Candy and her crew started even before 5 o'clock to set this up. So it was a pretty long night, but the final tally was definitely appreciated. 1573 to 917 in support of the budget. So we do appreciate the community for supporting our budget this year. So that's one hurdle. And now we'll see what we get from the state and federal government. All budgets did pass around the county as well, and there was good success around the state. Over 99% of them passed. So it was, all in all, it was a good night for public education here in the region, and also around the state for students and families. I really want to thank Candy for her tremendous effort in all of this right from the beginning. This isn't where we wanted to go, especially her last election. But I watched her just masterfully put this together, not only for us to, to put it together and stuff all those ballots. I mean, when you're talking 9,000 ballots, that's 27,000 envelopes and, and so forth. But she also became the go-to person in the region for those who haven't been through this before. So she helped out some other schools as well. And our legal firm, Ferrara firm that she worked with, was very key here in giving us all of the different what ifs that we needed to go through. So Candy, thanks again. I also want to congratulate Robert on his reelection. Congratulations, Robert. And we have,
thank you.
Robert's on for a 5-year term now, and look forward to working with you, and look forward to working also with Jodell and Christy, who won seats as well. And Christy's with us tonight. So welcome to Christy. And I finally want to thank our administrators and the finance committee. I think they put together a responsible budget in very, very challenging times. We went out with a tax levy of 1.99%. That's slightly above what we've normally done the last few years, but the statewide average was 2.34% for a tax levy increase. So we were below at 1.9, below that. Our expenditures were up a little bit, but that was mostly due to we had to take back the pre-K special education. So thanks everybody. Great outcome, and glad to have a budget in place for next year and some new board members. And for our new board members, I will be in touch with you soon. There is some, Candy will talk to you about the required training for board, but we also do an orientation for our new board members. So, because we want you to feel comfortable and as acclimated as possible to get going. A lot to learn. That's it on that topic. I brought Sarah Hopper's on with us tonight. Sarah is one of our language, to be specific, language other than English teacher, LOT teacher. And she, as she reported to you back in October, she started the first ever Seal of Biliteracy program in our county for Massena. And she's here tonight. I told you back in October, we'd give you an end of the year report on how that went this year. And I won't steal her thunder. I'll let Sarah give you the update, and you do have an attachment describing how it went this year. Sarah?
Thank you. Well, I'm very excited to say that we had 3 students earn the seal from Massena. So that's wonderful. In terms of Jefferson, Lewis, BOCES, most of those schools were on their 2nd year with 3 candidates. So I think 3 candidates was a great start given the quarantine and the pandemic. So we had Brenna Strickland earn her Seal of Biliteracy. She presented on climate change in Costa Rica. And then we had Anna Bogdan present on social injustice in Chile. And then we had Peyton Brown present on the use of makeup and self-confidence in French women. So all 3 of them earned the seal, and that was fantastic. I'm also excited to say that we built our own St. Lawrence County Consortium. So we will have our own in the county, and Massena has led that initiative as well. And it looks like we have 5 other schools in the county joining us for next year. So that is a fantastic start, and there's tons of interest throughout our department going on right now. Lots of students interested in starting. So I'm hoping as soon as the state returns our official consortium, they had given us some suggestions. We've made some edits and we've sent it back. So hopefully it'll get approved shortly. Several of them want to start their work this summer. So we're going to get them all a copy of it, those that express interest.
So Sarah, they had to give this presentation in front of a panel, correct?
Yes, it's a 15-minute presentation with about 3 to 5 minutes in speaking in the target language. And they had to rate intermediate high. To give you an idea, I am an advanced low, 1 level above them to be a teacher. I have to just have that level. So they're literally just 1 level below what a language teacher in New York has to be. So that's pretty impressive. And we did have 3 of those students achieve that. So that's been fantastic.
So Sarah, would you say that they were surprised at the effort it took to get to that level? I mean, was it
I believe
rewarding but tough? Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a mini thesis. So it takes some initiative, and they pick their topic, and they have to ride that topic out throughout the projects. We did get some nice suggestions from Candace Black, who's the head of foreign language for New York State. She suggested that we try to incorporate more of the projects in our curriculum. So I'm working with my department to try to see if we can do that to help encourage more students to do it. I think the independent nature of the SEAL, being kind of that they had a mentor, but other than that, they were kind of on their own, made it challenging, especially with the coronavirus. That certainly didn't help when they lost their support. But I think, the kids that were really motivated were able to pursue it. We did lose a few candidates, obviously, along the way because of the challenge and the rigor of it. But I think the 3 that we had go forward, some of them rose up against quite a few challenges too to make it there. So that was awesome that they could do that. It was really good to sit in on their presentations. Honestly, I was very proud of all of them. They did awesome.
Yeah, especially with what we went through. It's pretty impressive. I mean,
and being a first year, you don't always know. They didn't really get to see somebody else present. So they were on the spot, but they did really fantastic. I think it'll continue to grow. The program's going to continue to grow, and New York State's really pushing this diploma within the world languages. And they're also, the state provided them a nice seal and a medallion that they'll have on their diploma for the rest of their life that they can claim on resumes. And that's really exciting for them.
thank you.
Okay, any questions for Sarah? Well, thank you, Sarah, for pioneering this year. We're glad Massena
Great
was
work.
first out, and now you have other schools in our county that want to join as well. So you've been able to spread this now. So with the county, with our schools stepping up, then they probably don't have to go through Jeff Lewis next year. They can just
in fact, all of us will have it available with Jefferson. Instead of Jefferson Lewis, we'll just go through St. Lawrence. BOCES. I've worked hard with Jennifer Myers and Darren Safe to finally offer it here in the county. So that's exciting for everybody. And it's much easier for them than it was for us. Like, we had to go do research. So we set up a pretty good program that will pretty much be like a turnkey program for the other schools in the area. So I think it's going to expand the whole county.
Great.
Congratulations. Thank you again for your work. Very, very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay. Coronavirus pandemic planning update. A few things to report there, of course. So Monday was the official end of the school year, and we have been inputting grades and preparing report cards. Report cards did go out with the elementary students when they picked up when they brought back their Chromebook. Junior high as well, when they brought back their Chromebook, they received their report card. High school is going to be sending them out next week. So we're in the process of collecting the Chromebook back, and there's been some damages, Mike will say, and we're looking at that as well. We're getting a list together. We appreciate the work that he's done. We're now into reopening of school planning. Kevin alluded earlier that we have a task force that's been set up by SED, and in the up news and notes, I gave you a link to an update on that. They're supposed to have their guidance out mid-July. The governor is to have his out this month. We locally, we're working as superintendent districts together on this. We have a grant, a technology grant, where we are working together on reopening plans, and the BOCES is supporting us with that effort. We hope to get the templates as soon as we can, so that we have a direction of what we're to do. It's when you think of all of the the possibility of the PPE needed and the disinfecting and possible split schedules and busing, and it's there's a lot to consider, and so we are looking to we're very eager to get the template from the governor and then work on it as a committee, and also bring in some parents, some students into this effort to get their view. We did put out a survey to our staff, and so that they could come in. It's a Google Doc. They can go in and give us their input on the way they feel that it could work for them in their classroom. So we do want their input. The meals for our students ended on Monday as well for the regular school year. We started to see a decline there a bit. We were over 600, and now we were around 500. But we are going to start up the summer meal program on June 29th. So we're not taking too much time off on that. And that will again be on Mondays. And under state guidelines, we can have a waiver where we can actually give a 7-day meal pack out to our students. And we'll do this on Mondays. This is being coordinated through our food service program, through the BOCES food service, through transportation, of course, and also St. Lawrence County Transportation is going to help us out in delivering food or getting people to the spot. We can't do the 5 spots we've been doing because we don't have the refrigeration to do it in the summer. So what we'll be doing is we'll be having one location in front of the high school, but we'll also be delivering the food out to the community center on that side of town and down to Jefferson Elementary on that side of town. And we'll continue to do our deliveries to homes. We had about 45 families we were delivering food to their houses, and that's going to continue this summer as well.
Excuse me, Pat. How do they qualify to have their delivery at home?
They're telling us they don't have the transportation. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
They just need to request it.
They requested it, and they didn't have the transportation, so we delivered. Now, Al Rollage packed it all in the Suburban this year, and delivered to about 45 homes, so that'll continue.
Okay.
We're also gearing up for our 7 through 12 summer school program. It will need to be done via remote learning. We do this through Jeff Lewis BOCES. We started it last summer anyway. So we're fortuitous for us that we didn't have to move from a traditional summer school this year like we would have had. We got a dry run last year. So that is going to continue. We've provided a list of tutors and the coordinator to Jeff Lewis BOCES, who they become their employees. And so that online summer school will start first week of July, run 6 weeks as it did before. There's still a question on, the governor had talked about special education students being able to have in-person summer school. I know a lot of BOCES schools are really reticent to do that, given that we don't have any reopening plans. So I'm not sure how many are going to plan to provide in-person summer school. And so we're still working our way through that, but I wanted to let you know that is a a concern among all the school leaders. Graduation date has been set for, as we said, we've delayed that to the 25th of July, and in hopes that we might have a lessening of the restrictions. Governor did come out with a 150 maximum number that can attend. We have more than that in our class. We had 178. So we're hoping that time, given that we're seeing more opening up here and a decrease in cases in our region, that that will be further those restrictions will be further lifted by that time. So that's our hope anyway. And so that's where we're headed with graduation. And I think that's pretty much it as far as what to report to you tonight. I know that there are some working on the possibility of a senior parade, given that some other communities are doing that. We don't have anything concrete on it yet, but I know they're going to be talking to the village emergency operating committee, the village EOC, on Monday, because anything we do here, we're going to be we go through the village EOC and get their blessing on it. I guess the only other thing I would say, we don't know yet with the summer food program where our numbers are going to be. It's hard to gauge that. Usually it's 150 in the summertime. Will it be more this time? For those of you who might have saw what happened on Sunday here in front of the school with the USDA food distribution from 9 to 12, we had cars lined up all the way out Nightingale and all the way to Andrews and up and down Andrews Street. Gave away over 1,500 boxes of produce, 1,500 boxes of dairy and milk, and gallons of milk. And we went through all of that except for the milk, and the milk we distributed to some locals like Salvation Army, Neighborhood Center, and also gave out at our Monday distribution to our families. We still have quite a bit of milk left. If anybody knows people out there who need milk, let us know. The expiration date is June 30th, so we've still got a lot of time on this milk, but not too much. But if people need milk out there, we got it. Just send me an email. So moving on to capital project update. So we had our successful bidding. Very excited to get started. We had our pre-construction meeting this week, the 16th. That's when the contractors come together along with our architect and construction manager in the district and started to set out the scope of work, expectations, rules, regulations, looking at a three-week look ahead. So it's set now that as far as site work is concerned, this summer it will be Nightingale Junior High for our site work. That's all the parking lots and sidewalks and so forth. Nightingale Junior High will be the two big ones. This cab parking lot out here for central administration and some work around the high school, but not repaving there. That means that Madison and Jefferson will be next summer along with transportation. So those who aren't getting site work are getting roofing. So Jefferson and Madison, their roofs will be done this summer. And then next summer it will be Nightingale. The elementaries have full tear-offs and replacement. Junior high and high school have pieces. So they'll, junior high school will be the second summer along with a full replacement at Nightingale. And then our asbestos abatement this summer is going to be done. I was just looking at contracts today for asbestos monitoring contracts. So we're moving along. If you've been around the campuses, you will see a lot of work. The orange fences are over there at Nightingale. They've already started taking down some trees for site work. If you've been up at junior high, same thing. You're seeing a lot of work around junior high right now. They're getting right to work. Paris construction.
I noticed our a victim this afternoon. The big tree in front of the junior high came down.
Oh,
Yes, though, that is always tough. That's always tough with any project, when you have to do that for live trees. They do have a replanting plan, but yeah, that is tough.
It was obviously, I mean, I saw it from 2 blocks away. You could see the sun over there, and it's like, what's different? Like, oh my God, the tree's gone.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah, it'd be good if they can get it cleaned up as soon as possible and get that out of there. So yeah. So we're well on our way with the project. Summer is quick. Hoping this summer, we all hope summer goes longer. We hope this summer goes a lot longer, so we have more planning for the fall and also for our capital project. Any questions on project? So with our St. Lawrence Lewis health update, I like to give you guys been giving you a quarterly report anytime we have a meeting of the consortium. We had one on May 20th for their third quarter meeting. That's also workman's compensation. They have new officers. Rob Finster, Superintendent of Harrisville, is taking over for Carol LaSalle of Governor as the president of the board of directors, chair of the board of directors. Interestingly, with the coronavirus, as you know, hospitals had cut staff. They're bringing staff back because they haven't been able to do elective surgeries and other non-COVID related procedures. So that has ended up saving the health insurance plan's money. And if you remember, we had been looking originally at a 6% increase in health insurance premiums for next year. Then they were able to shave it down to 4.25%. And now because of the savings through COVID, they were able to shave it down to a 2.6% increase in our health insurance premiums next year. So that's the upside of this. If there is ever any, that's one thing. So that's a savings we talked about there. As you know, Excelis took over our plan administration effective January 1st, but so they will be administering our St. Lawrence Lewis plan. However, we still had claims coming in that occurred before January 1st, and so they've kept on some of the employees in the St. Lawrence Lewis office, and they are on track to transition them out by September, as had been the case where their director is retiring in September. So they're down to just a couple of employees in that office now. So that plan is still going into place, and then Excelis will be totally the administrator. There is going to be an audit of the plan. It's a planned audit. It's a five-year intervals by the New York State Department of Financial Services that is in charge of health insurance plans in the state. That'll take about 6 months. Lisbon had made a request to the plan to extend the notification to be able to leave the plan. The notification in our MCA it's our municipal cooperative agreement. The date, if you want to leave the plan, if your district wants to leave, they have to let the plan know in writing by April 30th to leave July 1st, and they wanted that extended, and that was rejected. And finally, the plan consultant, Losi and Cahill, their contract was renewed for another year. One of the suggestions that was in the Costello and Silke report that examined our plan this year stated that they felt that there should be requests for proposals put out both for the plan administrator and or plan consultant and the prescription drug administrator. It was the consortium felt that given all the changes that are going on this year, that they would continue as is until, and then revisit that next year. And I think that's all I have on from that meeting. Any questions on health insurance? All right. Last one I have is donations to the district. All of these donations you see listed were given to the class of 2020. And you can see them, the $1,200 from Whalen, Davy and Looney, Pease and Gustafson, 150 Twin River Credit Union, Eric and Anne Marie Miller, United Steelworkers, and Seaway Valley Prevention Council. And it's those donations and others is why you can see all those banners up down on Main Street and around the side streets. It's the reason why, we were able to, to give them signs and all the efforts that are going into graduation and possibly the parade and a variety of other things that they're doing for the seniors. So we appreciate that generosity for this group of kids. And that's it for me, Pat.
Okay, next from our business office, I believe Nick and Mallory are both on earlier. So Nick, if you would, take it away.
So first off tonight, I have two reserve fund resolutions. The first one is the TRS Retirement Contribution Reserve. Looking to increase that from $319,000 this year to $621,000. It's a 5-year phase in to allow us to fund that reserve based on the new requirements. The next one is just leaving the tax cert reserve at the $1 million that it has been, but our auditor wanted to see something showing that we were reviewing that. So just putting that on there as an FYI type thing. And then budget status report. Year to date, we've brought in 46.95 million. We've expended 39.6 and have 10.9 still encumbered for a remaining balance of 4.3 million. And then a handful of budget transfers. Mallory?
Okay, on the May treasurer's report, the month started with 36.1 million, cash receipts of 4.2 million, cash disbursements of 5.1 million, ending May with 35.2 million. On the internal claims audit report, 8 warrants verified in the amount of 2.1 million, with 1 error from invoice date being prior to the PO. 154 total claims audited. And on the BOCES claim audit report, 1 warrant was verified in the amount of 3 million, 3 total claims audited with no errors. And that's all.
Okay. Any questions for our business group?
Nick, I have one question that came up. As you know, we have the family home visits, and last year with the donation from NICET, they paid directly to our staff who engaged in those activities over the summer with our families. This year they requested that it be run through the district business office. Is there, I guess the question was, does that place any additional costs or issues here for the business office?
It doesn't create any issues, but it does create additional costs. We have to pay all the district side taxes on it. The employees have to pay their side of taxes. And also retirement contributions would have to be made.
Devil's in the details.
Yep. And that's on 25, well, yeah. That's, okay.
Per visit.
Yep, 25 per visit. Yep.
What's the definition of a visit and how is it recorded?
They keep a log of the visits that they're doing, and what they've been doing is having two staff members go together. And so they go and they visit the family, or if the family doesn't want them to come to the home, they'll go to another site and sit and talk to the family, talk to them about what they can expect either at kindergarten or 7th grade, get to know them a little bit more, and the student.
Now, you mentioned $6,000. Was that the total from last year, or is that the amount of the grant to do the work?
That's the amount that they gave last year, and I believe that's the amount they gave last year too, but that's the amount they're giving us this year.
Okay, if no other questions.
Yeah, so last year, none of those things, none of that was applied. The district staff was just paid directly. Did we carry the liability of that staff in that same pretense as they're getting paid by someone else to work for us?
Liability in what way, Kevin?
I don't know. They're going into homes. I mean, it's a different setting. I mean,
yeah, but we have administrators, counselors going into homes all the time. This is just adding teachers to it going in. So it's
okay.
Yeah.
Is there a way to change this program for next year? Is there a way to go direct to the teachers instead of going through the school for the permits?
We can talk to them about it again. I don't know if the monies are going to be available next year. I think we were fortunate to get it 2 years in a row, this grant. I'm not sure if it's going to be available for us next year, but that's a conversation we can have.
Okay, if no more questions, Nick, Mallory, thank you. We can move on to recommended actions for the night. First would be approval of the donations for the class of 2020. Have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussions? Just thank you for all those folks that helped chipped in a rough year for our seniors. It's really appreciated. We're trying to recognize them as best we can, but that was a big help, those donations. All those in favor, please.
I can't see Kevin. I need to see Kevin's hands or hand. Hey, Kevin.
Trying to follow on the agenda, and I guess you can't see me when I do that.
Sorry. Okay, is that all of you? Raise your hand.
Yes.
Thank you.
He did. I saw his hand.
Thank
Okay,
you.
next item. Actually, it's looks like 5 items for review only. Policy 5640, smoking tobacco use. Policy 5660, meal charging and prohibition against meal shaming. Policy 5660.1, confidentiality of eligibility information for child nutrition program benefits. And policy 5661, wellness.
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor, please. Thank you. The next group is for our annual review of policies for our reorganizational meeting. First one is policy 5220, district investments. Policy 5410, purchasing policy. Policy 5411, procurement of goods and services.
Go on, buddy.
Policy 6110, code of ethics. Policy 7110, comprehensive student attendance policy. Policy 7310, student code of conduct and discipline. And finally, in this group, policy 8260, Title I, parent and family engagement. Have a motion, please.
So move. Second.
Any discussion on those items?
I just have a question. So we're just going to approve these again next month as part of the reorganizational meeting, correct?
Yeah, we've been putting these on for review the last few years, just so that you can look, they get on this agenda, then look them over for the next agenda, and then they get.
So this is more for informational purposes, right, for members of the board to look at those policies before the organizational meeting.
Right.
Okay. All those in favor? I don't know if we did that yet. Thank you. Next group are first reading of policies. Policy 5633, pest management and pesticide usage. Policy 5650, energy, water, conservation, recycling, solid waste. Policy 5651, energy management, conservation. And policy 5663, adult meal charges.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Okay, thank you. And this would be second reading or adoption of these three policies. Policy 5623, loan of district computers. Policy 5630, facilities inspection, and policy 5631, hazardous waste.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All those in favor then, please. And we have one policy to be rescinded, and that's policy 5632, school building access control.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Thank you. Next item is approval of the resolution for TRS Retirement Contribution Reserve Subfund.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Thank you. Next item is approval of the resolution for the tax certiorari. That's easy to say. CERT account.
So moved. Second.
Any comments? No questions? All those in favor, please. Thank you. Approval of the budget status report.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Approval of the budget transfer report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you. Approval of the treasurer's report for May 2020.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Approval of the internal claims audit report general for May 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Did I hear a second? All those in favor? Thank you. Approve the internal claims audit report for BOCES 2020 of May.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Show of hands. Thank you. Approval of the CPSE report.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Next item, we'll do personnel actions with Mr. Brady, please.
Thank you, Pat. I'm recommending items 1 through 46 on the personnel action items list.
So moved.
It's
Second.
gonna be hard for Christie to vote for them. She didn't see them.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor then? And next item is the one
I'm a no.
we amended. Wait,
No. Oh,
I'm a
Kevin.
no.
we had a no? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't see you, Kevin.
I was
on
gonna
here.
break them out, but I didn't get off mute on time.
Okay, do you want them broken out?
Fourth,
Oops. You're stuck.
4 through 25.
Okay, so how's that work, Candy? We already had a motion. How far did we get? Got a motion and a second.
And then they
And
voted.
then they voted.
Yeah, we voted.
Okay. Sorry, Kevin. Looks like no on all then.
I
Unless
mean, I
some-
can't vote no?
You
Well, no,
can't.
Yeah, you can vote no.
Oh, okay.
It's just I
I got
can't
it in there.
break them out now because it already was voted on.
That's all right. I'll be a no on all of it.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next item is approval of the superintendent's contract. It's a 3-year contract. Can I have a motion, please?
I so moved.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor, please? Okay. Next item is new business. Anyone?
Let's have the next meeting in person.
That is the right now, that's the plan for sure. I don't know if we'll talk about it before we have it, but we may have to limit people's attendance if we get up to the 26, right?
Right. The 25 is now.
We'll deal with that. I mean, I was thinking about talking to Mike, if it got to the point where we got over 26, if we could set up a camera and set up another room where people could sit and
In the
watch it if
auditorium.
need be. I mean, that might be overthinking it, but
We can work
we
something out.
don't usually pack them in, so. Yep, okay. We do have to recognize someone tonight. It's the last meeting with us. And I don't know if we'll survive without her very long, but we need to thank Candy for all the things she's done for this district over the years. Extremely dedicated to the school and to us and to Mr. Brady and previous superintendents. Just a model employee. I can't say it well enough how good of an employee she is and how much
Right
we'll
there.
miss her.
I just want to thank all of you. We've been through some good and some tough times. And everyone has always treated me with such graciousness, no matter what was going on, no matter what was happening. And I always felt like I was part of your team. And for that, I will be eternally grateful. I would be remiss if I didn't say, I see Mark Goodfellow hiding. And I know this is his last meeting as well. And I'm sure you were going to say a bit about that, but even Mark hiding was very good to me. You were all just so gracious. And I leave knowing that with Mr. Brady, another 3 years, you're on the right track, going in the right direction. He's a very good leader and a great guy. So, I leave knowing you're in good hands, and whoever fills this spot is going to be very fortunate to get to know all of you. You've been a blessing in my life. Thank you.
Ditto.
Thank you, Candy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Candy, for the kind words, and we're gonna miss you.
Thank you, Mark.
And thank you, Mark. Thanks for your service, Mark.
Mark, I'm gonna miss your hand just like popping up randomly.
One more time, Mark. Hand up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks, Mark. We know you get busy on the outside as well, so we appreciate the time you give us, really. Good luck.
Thank you. Obviously, I can't compete with Candy's speech because she's a lot better than me, but I really do appreciate it. And best of luck to all you guys. Thank you very much for this experience.
Thanks for being there, Mark.
Okay, any other new business, or? I don't know that we can do communications or comments from public or press, so.
Andy's asked me to call him tomorrow, so I'm sure we will get comments from public and press.
There you go. All right, then that's all. We'll ask for an adjournment, please.
So moved.
So moved.
All those in favor? Thank you and good night, everyone.
Be good.
Good night.
See ya.